Welcome to Northern Soul, where we're going to be discussing sprained ankles, specifically lateral sprained ankle. So that's rolling it like that. This is the most typical way people roll their ankles. Good news is that that ligament down there at the deltoid, I'm pretty sure it's called deltoid ligament, is very strong and stops that sort of thing from happening. But if you do end up very unfortunate, just having a bad day and just sprain your ankle, you're wearing really tall heels or something, and you're dancing like Bambi on them, then sometimes this sort of thing happens and life goes on. So we're going to talk about taping. Now, of course, if you just sprained your ankle and it's all like swollen and stuff, you should be performing first aid on it. So you're talking ice, 5 to 10 minutes, probably more like 10 minutes, and then maybe seeing a doctor, make sure you didn't actually do anything beyond a sprain, like maybe you broke something or whatnot. So just be aware, you might need like actual first aid on it. This is kind of like fixing in the mean wall. But I'll be discussing two different types of taping. So try them both and see what works for you. Not every tape works great. Every technique works great for everybody. So try the different ones. Don't be afraid to try the different ones and see what works best for you as well. So we'll get through. I'll show taping one. My foot's making another appearance. We don't have foot models here. We're just keeping it real. It's au naturel, like a beautiful French girl. So that's what I got for you today, is my foot. Yay. So we've got a bunch of different colored tapes to kind of show some contrast. These are the El Cheapo tapes that I purchased off Amazon. They work pretty good. If you like the word cheap and tape put together, check out my video on tape comparison. These buggers are in there. Let's see if it's worth your while. I've got 3 rolls, so maybe obviously you can deduct that it is worth your while. But that's not what this video is about. It's about taping ankles and stuff, right? So then you can get back to dancing or whatever you do. All right. So first tape we're gonna do. Let's pick a color here. Let's do black, because black is the new black. A lot of people don't realize it. And the first taping, this is optional, but it's probably a good idea if you're prone to rolling your ankles. So if you just have weak ankles or ligaments to begin with, this is a good taping to start with. And it can be, so you can have them separate. I'll use these 2 colors for the actual taping, but this is an optional one. We'll do that first so you can see how that works. And this taping, what we're going to be doing is actually supporting the muscle that will help with that sort of rolling action. And also that muscle could be hurt, or muscles could be hurt within that action of doing that ankle roll, or that's spraining your ankles. Okay, so the muscles in question right now, we're talking the peroneals, which are on the second bone here, the fibula. So you've got the tibia and fibula. The fibula acts as a strut, but it also holds the 2 muscles here. So if you follow up, you'll feel, hopefully you can see that, there's a bony landmark right there. And that's the top of the head of the fibula there. And there's peroneal longus there across, and then it turns into peroneal brevis. It's the second muscle, and then it goes into tendon, goes underneath the ankle, and then under the foot. And then blah, blah, blah. That's not what you're here for. So we're going to offload that muscle and also support the outside of the or the posterior aspect of what is the lateral malleolus, or otherwise known as the ankle bone, outside ankle bone. We just use normal terms because we're people, aren't we? Just normal people. But some people like to hear Latin because then they'll be like, oh, that guy might know a thing or two. Not really, but I know how to tape a little bit. So let's do it. So first tape's going to go underneath. So it's going to be like, it's going to grab onto here as an anchor, come around the front like this, hit, go just behind the ankle, up those muscles that I told you about, and then stop at the head of the fibula up here. So that's what I'm going to be measuring for. That's what you're going to be measuring for. I don't really have hurt ankles, so I'm not overly worried about it. There's going to be quite a bit of stretch involved, so you may wish to shorten that amount by a little bit. Now we're talking pretty substantial stretch. So for most of it, you're talking about 50%, I would say, is probably fair. So I'm just going to cut about there, don't worry, once you get doing this a couple times, you'll know what the lengths are. So I'm just going to round up, wheels around the ends off so it doesn't catch. This might be redundant for a lot of people watching, but for those of you that are first time here, actually go check out my video on 101 taping. That's where you should be first, and then come back and watch this. Don't forget to subscribe. Anyways, okay, and then we're gonna have a little cutout here for that ankle part, because we're gonna anchor there first, right there. So that's what I'm measuring. I'm gonna cut that out a little bit, because that'll end up bunching up anyway. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just cutting out just a little U-cut, and that's where we're gonna start from for this particular cut for the ankle, right there. So it's gonna have a little gap. So I'm gonna break the backing right there. Break that back, there we go. Pull that back, crimp it, so it doesn't fall onto itself. Easy peasy. And I'm gonna just anchor that there. So base, how low can you go? I'm gonna do some Public Enemy for you. Anyways, and then we're gonna pull that off. So I've just actually put that right on there. So you can see it's like anchored. It has a little opening there for the anchor, so I can move. So you're gonna have your foot should be in a 90-degree angle. So this is like pretty natural position. Stretch. Whoop. This is much more difficult doing by yourself. This is kind of why I'm doing it by myself. So hopefully you can see. Oh, I'm getting real trick. Underneath, and then anchor. There we go. If I didn't have to twist my foot around to show you, it would be even prettier. There's a bit of a, you can see there's a bit of a fold there. It's because I'm doing all this gymnastics to show the camera. But you're not going to be doing that. You're just going to be like there, underneath, across, and then straight up. All right. So you're not going to get all these folds. Actually, I got away with that pretty good. I would still keep that. Okay, so I'm pulling back on the backing all the way to the top. I got last inch or so, and I'm just going to pull. So I know that here's the bony landmark. I'm going to be aiming towards that. So hold down here at the bottom. Stretch right at the landmark. I'm going to park it. So this is going to be stretched out. That's going to be very taut. You can see the tension in there. And then I'm just going to park that right over my fur. You might need to shave if you're really furry. I don't give a beep about any of it. So I'm just going to, I don't even have an ankle that's even hurt. I'm like taping. I'll be ripping this fur off quite shortly. So I won't be putting that on camera because it'll sound like a screaming girl. But anyways, so rub that on. Rub it. Come on, Genie. Grant me my wishes. There we go. And that's that. Okay. So you can see there's, hopefully you can see underneath I've got it secured under the foot. That's step one. Hopefully I'm not shouting at the camera. So that'll help with offloading that muscle, helping that recover as well. And you get a little bit of support for that roll from the back, but that's not going to be the main thing that's going to be supporting what's going on there, right? Okay. So now here's where the support comes in. I'm going to use these two more tapes. So it's going to be eye tapes, and they're going to be overlap. Now sometimes you double up or overlap bits of things falling out. You overlap in order to add more stability to an area. So this isn't like tape like you see the football players, they tape their ankles up and stuff. That's not what it's for. You're supposed to still have mobility with this. That's the beauty of it, circulation and all that stuff. So let's try. I'm going to measure. I'm going to anchor over here, up in this area, and then it's going to come over like that and down and underneath. So I'm just going to, I would slide this underneath just a bit, and then have it come up a little bit like that. So that's how much. I'm going to be adding some substantial stretch to it. So I'm going to back it off just slightly. And you can see I'm really eyeballing this stuff. It's not like an exact science. So if you're like, oh man, I wish you'd give me some measurements. Man, trial and error. You know, roll that dice. There we go. Cutting a little bit longer is better than cutting short, because you can't add material, but you can always cut some off, right? Okay, so let's get this show on the road, as they say. So I'm going to put it high. I'm not doing it across the ankle. I want to grab it all over my fur up here. That way it hurts more when I take it off. That's not really your goal, that's kind of my goal. All right, because I've got problems, obviously. So wrap around the other side, the outside, which will be your inside of the foot. Opposite end, you want a good anchor, right? Pull it back, not too much, because I don't want to get all weird when I go transition under the foot. So there's the, you can see the malleolus there. I'm going to bring it across with stretch. 90-degree angle on the foot. Just like that. Just like that. See what I'm doing? Okay. There. Get that set up. I'm going to rub that crease out because I can. There we go. And now we're going to transition into the underneath. Of course, this will be a lot easier for you because you don't have to do all these weird aiming at camera things. Unless you are, I don't know, you like filming yourself. No judgments. Okay, so here we go. Transition. Underneath. There, that was a bit long, to be honest. I would have liked it to stop right there, but like I said, not exact science. So I'm just going to park it on top of that, which is fine. You'll get like this lock effect. Remember, it does stretch a bit. There is give, so rub that down. Now, you don't typically want to end. This is why you want it a bit shorter. You don't really want to anchor onto itself, onto its own fabric, because it doesn't like to grip. This one will be all right. We're adding a second one anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Round two, ding ding. So here's round two. Typically 2-inch strip of width on that strip, and we're going to add about half on the previous fabric and half on the skin. All right, so that measure. I'm going to have this out front actually, so it'll be like this. Okay, so like that. So I'm going to cut this one shorter so I don't get caught out. Substantial stretch screwed me up there. Round off the edge. And I'm sure other people will be like doing retakes so it looks like they're perfect. But this is how it's going to go in real life taping. You're going to get, you know, weird stuff happening, right? It's not going to be perfect. You're going to have to spend some tape, spend some money on tape. That's fine. Should be doing this prior to any event, at least 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm going to just overlap so I have my base anchor on the skin. So I'm going to have it just past so it's on the skin because that's where it grips the best. Itchy thumb there. Bring that across halfway, so half and half. Some people like their coffee like that. Anchor that bugger down across the other way, around the bottom, like that. And I made that, that one's a little too long as well. So I'm not compensating enough for the amount of stretch that I'm doing, but that's okay. I'm gonna wrap it right there. Looks pretty good. That would still work. As you can see, not only is it colorfully interesting and very Miami Vice, but you can probably imagine the support that you would get with that. And the stretch would also help with circulation increase. So if you have a buggered ankle that's recovering, that would help with circulation and that would promote the healing response, meaning that it would be more efficient in healing. So the recovery time would be less than without the taping. The taping you would keep on for a number of days. So you're talking 3 to 5 days. I usually say keep it on as long as it feels good. If it gets ratty and stuff, or gets itchy or starts to feel worse, then, or you need to change the color because, you know, you're wearing a different kind of outfit. Look, I've got red on this. Just did a video on that foot. That doesn't match, but maybe that's cool. You're going for that look. whatever. That's part of taping, is fun of colors and stuff like that. But that's what it looks like for that specific taping. Stick around, there's one more taping to show you. I'll be back in a second. Alright, welcome back. Thankfully I just ripped off all that tape. Thankfully it wasn't on there very long, because that would have hurt. So hair intact, yay. Now let's talk about the second taping to try. I think this one's a little bit simpler, so you might like this one better. I don't know. Try them both because you can. So basically you're gonna have, it's 3 strips. This has a sort of figure 8 locking sort of mechanism. You'll see it when I get it taped on. The first one is straight up on both sides, so it's like a U underneath, over, and then across the ankle. So let's measure for that. Here we go, like that. So for there, across the ankle, underneath, and then across the other side. Trim. All right, so we're going to apply a bit of stretch on that as well. So probably about, I would do probably about 25 to 50% stretch. A little bit less then, because we're not trying to increase circulation so much as to just kind of support the area, especially on a ligament. Okay, so I'm going to break this one right in the middle. Pull one side like that. Pull this side like that, and then get right under, line it up. So I'm adding the stretch there, 100%. Back it off, so I'm doing about 50% right now. So I'm trying to get my foot back to about normal. So I want to cross the ankle, there we go, like that. Smooth that over, and then on this side, same idea. Rub to help the adhesion. Now you can make that slightly closer to the heel, so it's a little bit more vertical. But that's okay, it's not an exact science. The important part is to get a verticality over the ligament and the actual ankle itself for that sort of support. So you get this sort of sideways support, and you get the also the awareness. So it helps with proprioceptive stimulation. So then it heightens the effect of your body knowing where your bits are in space and time through the proprioceptive nerve sensors. That's a mouthful. Anyways. Try explaining that at the next party. Alright, so the next part of the taping, we've got 2 tapes which are going to be the opposite of each other. And we're going to anchor just behind the Achilles, like here. And then it's going to go underneath, up, and then stop there with substantial stretch. So I've got to make sure I don't cut too much, which apparently I like to do. There we go. And I'll make a second copy right here since it'll be the same length. So you can just put one over top like that. Get close enough, cut it, done. There you go. Throw that away. Round off the ends. Yeah, I'm spending my evening with you guys. Hopefully you got your drink on, relaxing, with that ice on your ankle. If it's just happening, you just decided to YouTube it on your phone. Don't forget to, if you have friends with sprained ankles, to share this video, as well as like it and things, so then I can be like, alright, people like things I do and I want to make more videos. Alright, this seems really short, but I'm going to stretch this bugger, right? So it's like 70% stretch. So let's start with the anchor. Everyone that I've looked at, that seems like the right size tended to be too long. So just going to get on the Achilles. I want to get a little higher. So I want to get across this part, right? So no stretch on the end. Trying to do that. There we go. And then we got the stretch, substantial stretch, and we're going to go like underneath, right? So I'm just going to cross the ankle there. So there's the sprain in this general area, across the bottom of the foot, and then I'm just going to back off so there's like no stretch, and then I'm going to complete. There we go. I touched the end like a fool, but whatever. I'm taking this off, so I don't really care. And I'm just going to park it there. Rub in for effect. There we go. This will take another 10-15 minutes for it to set, so try not to do any crazy movements. And also remember that it won't really want to stick onto its own fabric, so give it a chance to settle in there with the adhesive. So you might have to rub it in there a couple times. And then you're going to do the opposite with the other side. So I'm going to just, this is a weird stretch for me, but because I'm trying to do it with the camera. Oh man, I'm double jointed now. Check it. So this is going to go underneath the malleolus right there. So there's the tendon, or sorry, it'll be the ligament underneath. So we're trying to protect that. So I'm just going to park it here with my side split that I'm doing right now. Substantial stretch, 50 to 70%. Underneath, there's right on the malleolus there. I'm going to try to anchor that. Just try to direct, there we go. Underneath. Continuous stretch. And I'm going to try to park it on the skin, which I managed to do, because you always want to anchor on the skin if possible, because then it has less tendency to fall apart, or like you put a sock on. So be careful when you're putting socks on and stuff like that, or whatever. I was going to say pantyhose. Most people hate pantyhose, but you know, not judging. You do whatever you want. So there we go. Just rub that in there. And then you get this sort of figure 8 thing. Oh, let me see if I can turn it around. Why is everything got to be so hard? So you can see there's that sort of crisscross, and then it locks in the ankle like that. And then in the back, oh, I almost look like I'm doing some sort of break dance, and I just need some cardboard on the ground that will sort that out. So you can see the support. You almost get support from both ankles, which maybe that's a big thing for you. You got really like loose ankles, but that's how that looks. So that wasn't too bad. I can definitely feel the support, but the straight up and down, so the flexion of the ankle and the extension of the ankle, or plantar flexion and dorsiflexion, is very, very easy. It's very linear. But when you deviate a bit to the side, you definitely feel the pull. So that really gives you more confidence and that sort of thing. I should have told you what I was feeling with the other one. I was just feeling really good. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. If you're on YouTube, you should know how to help out people that are with their channels. So thank you so much for watching. Hope this helps. If it helps you out, put it down in the comments. If you have any other issues with you and you're like, you'd like to see me do taping for something else that is tapeable, I'm not going to tape my testicles, but so don't try to be too funny, but put it in there and maybe that'll be in the next video. Thanks for watching.